Hey guys, how you going? Just here with Aaron Byerlee. Thanks mate.
Very good to see you, sir.
Thanks for your time. So as we do just an interview with people, tell us, you just hit diamond. Tell us, what was that like?
Hitting diamond was sensational, mate. It's a bit of a realisation of a dream from, you can say 3 years, but really 15 years of getting into business for myself, finding the new age of business with network marketing. But apart from that, the lifestyle is good, the income is very good. And so a 3-year plan turned into reality, and often it comes down to the hard work, but really it's choosing the right vehicle as well. So when you do your homework and all the things that we know that Jeunesse has worked out to, obviously helped us to get to diamonds. So that's what I believe. If you pick the right company, the right people at the right time, then it's just a matter of putting your head down, working hard, and you'll get there. So mate, absolutely fantastic, and to get up on that stage in Macau in front of 12,000 people was sensational. Yeah.
It was awesome. So can we just sort of, go back to the beginning when you first started network marketing? When you first started off, tell us about that. How did you start?
So right back in the beginning, 15 years ago, I started as a 20-year-old where I was sitting at work one day and a guy rang me up and said, hey, do you want to make some additional income? I said, of course I do. As entrepreneurial even back then. And I'd never heard of network marketing before, never heard of Amway, which is the first company I joined with, and got caught up in that way. And what this guy presented to me was, he said to me, what are your dreams and your goals? And at 20, I'd never really thought about that much, but I started writing down things like boats.
Surpassed them now.
Surpassed them, and still got a few to tick off, but they're getting ticked off more and more. But they're right, it opened my mind up to, what do I really want in life?
Yep.
And he showed me that network marketing could get me that, and why. And so I'm really thankful for that opportunity back then, 15 years ago. He was giving me lots of books and DVDs, the Network 21 Personal Development, and that's where I first got Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Yep. And literally 4 weeks after reading that book, I quit my job, sold my car, and went and bought my first business. And that's what got me into the entrepreneurial world properly. And then it was a bit of a, didn't do much with that way, but then it was a long journey back around to 2008, getting back involved in networking again, and then finding Jeunesse in 2011, and the rest is history.
So for the average person, what do you, when someone first starts, like today, say you've got a new distributor starting today, what do you recommend?
The biggest thing I say to new people is don't try and do it all yourself. That's the biggest tip I give to people. I see so many people try and be independent, and that's great, that's what you want them to eventually become, but the biggest thing is to get your warm market down, to open-minded people that you think could be good, but then tap into the system. Yep. And use your upline, use your webinars, use the system, use your JBuilder, use the live events, use the systems that your upline has created, use the things that have worked for the last 60 years, and don't try and reinvent the wheel and do it all yourself. That's the biggest tip, and I was just telling a young couple today about the same thing. Because sometimes, you could be the best at talking to people about it, but you're 20 and talking to a 40-year-old entrepreneur when you're 20, they just don't take this serious, and that's just reality. But then putting them onto an upline who is 40 and's got runs on the board, they're going to join in their business. If you keep doing that time and time again, number one, it takes the pressure off. Number two, you don't have to present. Number three, it's duplicatable, and you will have more success. So the biggest tip I say is to get your knowledge up and learn it all, but don't try and do it all yourself.
Okay. So when you first got started, it was obviously starting from Amway a few years ago and now coming. We talk about the rotten apples. If you can remember back when you first started, how did you overcome those rotten apples?
Yeah, probably when I was young, I didn't overcome them, and that's probably what got to me. As a young, and that's what I say to young people is, look, here's going to be your challenge as a 20-year-old. 50% of everyone joining now is your age group. But where your challenge is going to be are the rotten apples. Are you going to let them get to you, or are you going to push through them? So it's good to educate people on that, and I was probably a victim of that, because when you're 20, you're still playing the popularity contest of life. You don't want to be rejected, and it's the high school thing still. But if you've got the mindset and your dreams are big enough, you won't worry about that. So what I teach people is, number one, make them aware that it will happen. You will get rotten apples. Number two, to say as long as your dreams and goals are big enough, you'll push through that. And the biggest mistake and why people quit is they've got expectations that everyone's going to say yes, they're going to make $1 million in their first month. It doesn't happen like that. So it's all about your why, and if your why is big enough, you push through that. But educate, especially the young people, on that sort of thing. And and you'll push it. It will happen. But again, the better people you speak with, so if you're speaking to business people and entrepreneurs and open-minded people, the less you'll get. The better you get at telling your stories, the less you'll get. But they still will happen, you just got to push through them.
Yeah. Now we sort of want to change this up a little bit. What's the biggest mistake that you've done?
The biggest mistake? Ooh, the biggest mistake. I mean, the more mistakes you do, the better you get. I've made a lot of mistakes.
What's something you might have gone off track? Or?
Yeah, I guess, you know, in Jeunesse, not so much because you do your apprenticeship and you learn, but one of the big mistakes I used to hear people talk about getting into management mode or, you know, momentum. And everyone knows what momentum means as a definition in the English dictionary, but when you're in networking, when you've actually got momentum, then you really understand what momentum means. And a lot of people get a little bit of momentum, then they stop and they go into management mode. And they think, right, I've enrolled my 6 people now, a couple of people starting to do some work, I'm just going to kick back and let it all happen. And it doesn't work like that, and that's what I did in the early days. And eventually your business just sort of starts to chug back. So your whole business is built on enrollment, momentum, and when you start getting momentum, that's when you go harder, not when you kick back. So my biggest tip there in that mistake would be, if you get a bit of momentum, go even harder, so you've got this rock solid business that can never ever be dented, and just keep making those phone calls and enrolling. You know, sometimes I've gotten to a comfortable zone, whereas the biggest uncomfortable zone is making those calls to your chicken list.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Sorry about the audio, people, but we're just down at the local.
How we roll.
How we roll. It's
this
a Monday.
The office.
It's a Monday flat out, which most people got that Sunday night. They've got that.
Yeah.
Got to throw another 5 or 7 days at it.
Yeah.
What's some of the what's an unexpected surprise, a good surprise that you've got after hitting diamond that you just didn't realise would happen?
Good surprise hitting diamond. I mean, the trips that we get are pretty good. Going to Tahiti. I mean, I tell you, it's like a surprise when I first joined Jeunesse. I'm looking through the compensation plan. I saw the diamond pool and the trips, but until one of the guys in our team hit diamond, Lyndon, and he comes back and tells you a first-hand experience, to me that was a surprise.
Yeah.
You know, to talk about a $40,000 trip fully paid for, and then, you know, getting things like a $10,000 check hidden underneath a plate to go shopping for jewellery. You know, last year getting people flown in to be entertained and getting people flown in to create a suit and create leather. That was a big surprise where I didn't quite realise how big and expensive the trips were, flying business class, all expenses paid. So that's a pretty good surprise. I'll tell you another great surprise is when you hit that week where you get into the diamond pool and you see what your income is in that week. That's a very nice surprise.
Yeah.
So don't underestimate that diamond pool, especially now. There's only 35 diamonds in the company. The company's doing $250 million. That diamond pool is lucrative. So that was a nice surprise.
Tell me, I sort of know you a little bit. Actually hitting that goal of diamond, when you hit it, describe that, because I know myself, once you try so hard to hit that.
Yeah.
Tell us about that, when you actually, for you, hit it.
Think about something you've wanted all your life. And not only something you've wanted, but you've actually strived for. So whether it be a relationship, the first child, Olympics, losing weight, whatever. And you've actually put in all the hard work, and how good did it feel when you finally hit it? It was like that and some. So I remember, we knew we were going to hit diamonds. I was on a Skype call with Craig Schultz. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and we needed about 5 more cycles to hit diamond. So we actually cracked a bottle of wine, got on video Skype together, and the cycles then started going over really slowly. But over the next hour, we saw it tick over to 1,000. And it just felt like, you know, a big weight being lifted off your shoulders. You knew the income was going to be automatic, and also too the credibility and the way that people look at you when you're a diamond, even just compared to emerald, is nice. It's nice, and it's kind of one of the reasons you do it for. Let's not underestimate, you know, the ego and the things that come along with that. But what I love to do is give back to people. Yeah, a lot of responsibility comes with that as well. But mate, it was just a great feeling because we work hard. And we put in the hours, we had a dream, and my dream started with getting into traditional business. That didn't really give me the lifestyle I wanted. And I joined a bunch of different network marketing companies. I did eBay, I did membership websites, I did everything. So when you have a crack at something that finally comes off, mate, it is party time, and you got to take that moment to celebrate, because that's what it's all about, having some fun. So yeah, it'd be maybe just behind the birth of my first child, Ben.
We might just touch on that, because that's a good point, because a lot of people have given something a go before and haven't worked, and the partner might be saying, that's a good example. Touch on that a bit.
Exactly, mate. So I've always been entrepreneurial and open-minded. I first started aside from traditional business, which I just got into because I was into fitness, so let's go start a gym. And you're basically earning your wage, you're earning okay money, working hard. But the thing I looked at outside of that was the first seminar I went to was Think and Grow Rich. And I went to that and it had about 10 different business opportunities. And I thought it was Christmas. It was Christmas for a young entrepreneur. Yeah. And I joined everything. I was buying eBay and membership, internet marketing, anything you name it, I was joining it. And over 3 years, I spent $300,000 on personal development and on business opportunities. Now, should I have spent $300,000? No way in the world. And if I'm mentoring someone these days, I say, no way should you do that. And if I had a mentor to show me what to do back then, I probably should have spent $10,000 to $20,000 on development, because you've got to develop. But 9 out of the 10 things I did just weren't, they just weren't there. Yeah. But sometimes, you've got to go through that and learn those lessons. And a lot of those things that I learned through those opportunities, like copywriting, internet marketing, I can apply to what I'm doing now. Yeah. So you've got to do your apprenticeship. And sometimes you've got to go through things that don't work. Don't ever give up, that's the key. But one of the biggest lessons, and it's in Think and Grow Rich, go and find a mentor that's achieved what you want to achieve, that's living the lifestyle that you want, and listen to them, and walk in their footsteps. If I had that, I would have eventually found my way here, but I would have saved myself a lot of money and time.
Well, and opinions, let's face it, some people, you get it, they're listening to opinions of people that have done, or haven't got the fruit on the tree.
Exactly.
So what would you say to somebody that has been in the business for about a year? They've contacted, we find this, then they've contacted, how do you teach people, because you're a good prospector, how do you teach people to start making those conversations?
Outside of the warm market? Yeah, outside of the warm market, there's people everywhere every day, but I try and get a bit more deliberate about it. So the good things that work and that are duplicatable, that I've seen work for other people, is social media needs a lot of attention now. So things like LinkedIn, where 3/4 of the people have their mobile phone sitting right there, pick up the phone and give them a call. Build a relationship with them first. Facebook, they're all great spots to meet the right type of people and build a relationship and conversation. Pick up the phone and then turn it into this face-to-face where the magic happens. Also too, go to networking events. So there's a great, I gave this advice to a girl in Sydney who she actually did it. So many people just don't do it. She did it, started a whole new team, her business exploded. She got on meetup.com, www.meetup.com, put in things like real estate, shares, personal development, network marketing, internet marketing, anything where people are going to go and try and get ahead, looking for an opportunity, the right type of mindset people. She started going to these events, which are just on like a Monday morning like now, Sunday afternoon, networking events, started talking to them just about what their goals and dreams are. Why are you here? What are you looking for? I might have something that could be really good for you. So they're free. Because they're free and they're easy to do, they're duplicatable. So I found that social media, networking events are very good ways to then go and find the right people to talk about what we're doing.
All right, well I think we might wrap it up because we don't want to make these too long. We'll just try and keep them informed.
We could talk all day, Benny.
Thanks very much for that.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
I hope you hear that, guys, because he's obviously got a phenomenal business and mate, you're a leader. It's great to follow in your steps. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Good on you. See you guys. Cheers.